Apple crumble is a family favorite. So modernizing a family favorite is always fraught with danger, but that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna modernize the apple crumble. Now, when I say modernize, it doesn't really mean anything. It just means I'm gonna plate it differently and show you a few different techniques in ways that you can prepare your crumble, prepare your apples, prepare your rhubarb, and a nice little new ingredient that you may not have seen before called Ultratex. We're gonna make an apple gel. First thing we're gonna do when making our modern apple crumble is make the crumble itself. It is the best part of an apple crumble, and the thing that you eat the crumble off the top and you sort of leave the apples. So we're gonna make the crumble and the apple separate so that they're two separate things. They're both as tasty as each other. First thing for the apple crumble, some flour goes in, and this is a salted caramel crumble. So a little bit of extra flavor. Some almonds, a little bit of cinnamon, some coconut, and this is a key ingredient. This is milk powder. So the stuff that you would normally mix with water to make milk that you can buy, milk powder, we pop that in, and that's gonna give us part of our salted caramel flavor. So if you want measurements for what we've been doing, it's about equal portions of everything except the cinnamon, which is a teaspoon. So depending on how much you're making, half a cup will get you quite a bit, and then a cup if you've got lots of people coming over. Some butter, and then half a cup of rolled oats, and some raw sugar. Now, I like raw sugar or brown sugar to get more of that caramel effect, but if you like caster sugar, go with that. And a nice big pinch of salt for the salted caramel component. So what we're gonna do, the milk powder, as I mix these together, the milk powder, as it cooks off in the butter, you caramelize the milk solids in the milk powder, and that helps you get your salted caramel effect. And also the brown sugar or the raw sugar that we've got in there will also add to that. So all I'm doing now is trying to break up the butter to mix it through all the ingredients. You're looking for all the butter to be dispersed amongst all the dry ingredients so you get it nice, even cook when we throw it in the oven. So once I've got that, I'm just gonna put it in an oven tray, put it in the oven, 180 degrees until it's nice and brown and toasty. Our crumble is cooking off in the oven, so now I'm going to prepare the apples and the rhubarb. Rhubarb I've already chopped into little battens, so that's right to go. Apples though, I'm going to peel, and I'm going to do a few different options of how I want to plate it up. So I'm going to have some wedges and a round of apple, I guess is probably the best way to describe it, but I'll show you what I'm talking about once we get there. I used to always play a game when I was young, see if you could get the whole skin off in one little ribbon. I'm not very good at it. This one I'm going to cut into our little dome. So I'll cut it in half. And then I'll get a little cutter just to take out the core. So using my cutter, push down, and that will take the core out, and it will leave us with the little dome of apple that I'm talking about. So just clean up any extra skin on there, and then I'm going to pop this into a steamer. So I'm going to steam my rhubarb and my apples. So this goes into our steamer. Just got a little cartouche of baking paper on the bottom of our steamer, and I'll peel another apple and cut this one into wedges. So we've got a few different options. Apple, rhubarb, and crumble are ready to go. Our crumble was in the oven for 25 minutes, I reckon. I took it out halfway through and just mixed the outside into the middle because it catches from the outside first. Now, our apple and our rhubarb are cooked at different times. Rhubarb cooks a lot quicker than the apple, so I did the apple first and then put the rhubarb into the steamer after that. And you can see if you put a knife into them, they're nice and soft and really tender. So steaming is probably the best way to go with it because it's nice and gentle. Now I'm going to make up our little apple gel. So bowl, apple juice. This is just pure cold pressed apple juice. And a thing called Ultratex, which is this thing here. Now Ultratex is a derivative that comes from seaweed. So the gelling or the alginate that's in seaweed is what we extract from the seaweed, and we end up with this powder. Now it doesn't colour or change the flavour of the liquid at all, and it means you don't have to heat the liquid up to get it to dissolve. So you put a spoon of the Ultratex in, a whisk, and then just whisk the two of them together, and it will slowly start to form a gel. Okay, so still a little bit thick. So there's no real recipe for this, it's just add a little bit of this, add a little bit of the liquid, add a little bit of your Ultratex until you get the consistency you want for your gel. So now I'm just going to spoon this into a little squirt bottle for service. It just gives you so many cool options with liquids. And any liquid you can do this with. Okay, so that is our gel. I'll put the lid on my squirty bottle. Give it a shake. And watch my finger. That's the cool little gel that you get out of it. So it's a great little ingredient, Ultratex. All right, oh, that tastes so fresh, so beautiful. We'll plate up. Normally the crumble goes on top. I'm gonna put it on the bottom because the best part of the crumble is the crumble itself. And normally you just eat it off the top and then you're left with nothing. So I'm gonna put it on the bottom to make sure you eat it. So in complete reverse, cream I'm gonna put in the bottom of our bowl. Then our crumble is gonna be heaped on top of that. And maybe you want lots of the crumble, best part. Spread that out. Then our little pieces of rhubarb, which I've just cut into these little triangle shapes, which I'll place on top of that. Same with our apple, I've just cut them so they fit on top. Another little bit of rhubarb, which we'll cut into those triangles. Place them on top. And then our gel to finish off. So something a little different that people aren't going to be expecting is that little burst of apple gel. I reckon if you serve that, people would go, what is that? And you say, eat it. And as soon as they take the first mouthful, they'll tell you it's an apple and rhubarb crumble.